The main goal of chess is simple. Checkmate your opponent's king. Checkmate happens when the king is under attack and has no legal moves to escape.
You're right. Take him alive. Kill his men.
But before that happens, both players must use their pieces strategically to outmaneuver each other.
Hi everyone, it's your boy 18, and in today's video we'll cover the basics of chess, how the pieces move, and the overall goal of the game.
Before we get into the pieces, let's talk about the board itself. The chessboard is made up of 64 squares arranged in an 8x8 grid. The squares alternate between light and dark colors.
Chessboard has ranks and files. Ranks are the horizontal rows numbered from 1 to 8, starting from the player with the white pieces. Files are the vertical columns, labeled from A to H, starting from the left. A square is identified by a combination of its file and rank. For example, the bottom left corner is A1 and the top right corner is H8. Now, let's break down the pieces, their movements, and the point values. Pawns move forward one square at a time. But on their first move, they have the option to move 2 squares forward. They can only capture diagonally 1 square in front of them. And when it reaches to the opposite end of the board, it can be promoted to any other piece. And lastly, pawns have a special move called en passant. It's a French word that means in passing. If an opponent's pawn moves 2 squares forward and lands beside your pawn, you can capture it as if it only moved 1 square. So pawns may seem weak, but they can become powerful if you advance them wisely.
Knights, worth 3 points, and move in an L shape. This means they move 2 squares in one direction, then 1 square perpendicular, or vice versa. They are the only piece that can jump over other pieces. And lastly, they capture by landing on an opponent's piece. And are very great at getting behind enemy lines because of their ability to jump over pieces.
Bishops move diagonally across the board, and they can cover any number of squares in one move. Think of them as snipers.
They have same points as the knights, and they capture by moving to the square occupied by the opponent's piece. Each player starts with 2 bishops, one on the light squares and one on the dark squares. Together, they can control large parts of the board. Rooks move horizontally or vertically, as long as nothing blocks their way of movement. They cover many squares as they want, and they capture by landing on a square occupied by the opponent's piece, just like every other pieces. Rooks also known as castles, are worth 5 points. Rooks are involved in a special move with the king called castling. We will talk about this in the king section. They become especially powerful in the endgame when they can control open ranks and files. Queens are worth 9 points. They can move any number of squares horizontally, vertically, diagonally. In fact, they combine the power of rooks and bishops. Queens can capture by landing on the square of an opponent's piece. Because of its versatility and power, the queen is considered the most valuable piece in chess. In fact, if you lose your queen early in the game, it's best you resign because there is no need continuing. The king moves one square in any direction, horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. Anywhere, just one square in that direction. They capture by moving onto a square occupied by the opponent's piece. Kings perform castling with a rook. This is the only time the king moves more than one square. To castle, the king moves 2 squares towards the rook. The rook moves to the square right next to the king. Castling can only happen if neither the king nor the rook has moved, there are no pieces between them, and the king is not in check. The king has no point value because the game revolves around checkmating the king. If you lose your king, you lose the game.
If you threaten my lord again, as in, I'm going to open your lord from balls to brains and see what stomachs are made of.
So remember, protecting your king while attacking your opponents is the key to winning in chess. Now that you understand the basic movements, the point values, and the overall goal of the game, you are ready to start playing chess. And remember, practice is key to mastering the game. So get on the board and make those moves count. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe for more chess tutorials. See you in the next video.